Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday 10 with CadChica Sports. I am Sunny Cadwallader, your host, better known as CadChica. Tuesday 10 is a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports, from media, broadcasting, business marketing, social media, and more. And tonight my guest hails from the world of college sports. I will let her tell you much more about that. Please welcome my guest, Katie Cavender. Hey, Katie.
Hi, Sunny. It's so great to be with you. I feel like it's like those sports talk shows where it's long-time listener, first-time guest. So I appreciate being on with you today.
Oh, wait. Let me see if I have I don't know if I have a sound effect for that, but I need to bring in my sound effects. Yay! There we go. You are definitely worth it. We connected on Twitter, and I've come to admire the work that you've done in the Mountain West Conference. So why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am the Assistant Commissioner for Strategic Communications here at the Mountain West. I'm currently finishing my 7th year here. I am a native of rural Nevada, a small town called Elko. If you've heard of it, you've probably driven through it, stopped, went to the restroom, and kept going.
Yep.
Did my undergrad studies at the University of Nevada, studied journalism there and worked almost full-time in the athletic department there during my time. Upon graduation, I interned for the then Pac-10 conference for a year as a communications intern, and went on from there. I worked 10 months or so temporarily at Boise State doing game operations and facilities there. My younger brothers actually played football at Boise State. They were offensive linemen on the first Fiesta Bowl statue left team, so that's exciting little piece of trivia that you may not know. And from there I went into my graduate studies at the University of Washington in Seattle, worked on my Master's of Education in Intercollegiate Athletic Leadership, and while I was there I was looking for an internship or a GA position or some full-time work to fill that requirement of my degree, and this role with the Mountain West came about. And I've been here ever since. That's all she wrote. It's grown and it's blossomed, and it's crazy that it's been 7 years. Sometimes it feels like it's been 17, and sometimes feels like it's been 7 months. So.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm here in Eastern Washington, so you've got some rivalry connections with teams I'm surrounded by. But
right.
You said you had a degree in journalism. How exactly did the whole evolution of journalism to social digital media, how did that actually really come about?
Right. So I was fortunate enough in the journalism department that I studied in, and at the University of Nevada actually contained all sorts of different areas, from print journalism and broadcasting to PR and advertising, and so I kind of went off the beaten path and didn't focus on one specialty, but really got my hands dirty in a bunch of different areas, trying to grasp as much as I could. That's kind of in my nature to really get involved. So as part of that, I fulfilled my internship there in the media relations office at Nevada with the Wolfpack Athletics, and that really grew into an opportunity for me not only to learn the SID side of things, but really what the interworkings of an athletic department really are. It was a great opportunity for me, and it really, from there, expanded into working with marketing and working with development, doing some things with equipment and ticketing, and then working with our student fan base groups. We started the Blue Crew then. That was a great opportunity for us to get students more involved. And so all of those things, and then taking that into my internship at the Pac-10 and into my graduate studies, really opened my eyes to using communications as not only just storytelling, but as a way to engage and get people involved and really build some brand affinity. And when the opportunity with the Mountain West cropped up, being from the West, it was something that really, really drew me. And then just knowing their experience and kind of having the pioneer spirit. At the time, they were the youngest FBS conference. They were the first to have their own TV network. They were the first to have a BCS buster with Utah in the Fiesta Bowl in 2004. Right. Things like that. So I knew that if I had an opportunity to maybe get onto that team, that I could apply some of those thoughts and really delving more into the digital space and applying my skills in a new arena would work. And so far it's going okay.
I think so. How now with social media, one of the things I like to ask people, especially those who are working in college sports, how do you just with all the platforms available, how do you decide which platforms to use? Is it just you? Is it a team effort? How many are involved on your team if it's a team effort?
Right. So the Mountain West right now is we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Instagram. And we've really kind of focused on those for now, only from a sheer resource standpoint.
Right.
Our staff at the FBS level, we've got about half the amount of staff that other FBS leagues have. So we're kind of lean and mean, and we're all wearing lots of different hats. But then we do a bunch of evaluation too. We've tried to figure out, if there's ways that we can make Pinterest work for us. We've looked into some location-based stuff like Foursquare and seeing if we can apply that and how we can integrate the schools since they really have ownership of those venues, how we can apply those. And then even some of the new ones. I had a conversation the other day with a new platform called FanCred that was really a social media space that was strictly dedicated to sport. So really just gathering as much information as we can and then figuring out how we can allocate our resources appropriately. Like I said before, we all kind of wear all sorts of different hats here in addition to my social media responsibilities and my digital responsibilities with the MW.com, our website. I'm also a member of our media relations team. I do some secondary work with football and primary work with women's golf. And then I'm heavily involved with the Mountain West Network, our digital video component and initiative, so involved in the production aspect of things and graphics for it and implementation and working with our partners. But we're really lucky and we're excited that we're driving focus to that digital space, not only with the network but also in the social space. Commissioner Thompson and the Mountain West Board of Directors, all of our university presidents are really behind us going above and beyond. And so that's what's next for us. We're really excited about it.
And stay tuned, those of you that are in the audience. We do have a giveaway or two associated with the Mountain West Conference. I think we're going to start doing a screen share here. Katie's going to. I'm walking Katie through her first ever screen share, so we'll see how well I taught her. I wanted to find out from her what some of the greatest successes were or have been so far in the Mountain West Conference, and it looks like she's got it up.
Awesome. Yeah. So I wanted to show. Sunny wanted me to share some of the great successes that we've had here at the Mountain West. This is one of the more recent ones. I do want to give a little bit of props to our mutual friend, Sunny Derek Dockett, who kind of helped walk me through a bunch of this, as well as Chris Yandel from the University of Miami. Yes, to both of you guys for sure. They helped me. I wanted to really make sure that we were getting into doing some of these things. Our basketball championships in Las Vegas have been really successful for us. We sell out of our semifinal and our final sessions quite frequently, and we've got a really good following there. So I wanted to really capture on that opportunity and get some other things involved. So we started doing these infographics. We did them by hand, and I'm looking for some ways, of course, back to those limited resources, of finding some ways that we can maybe optimize the output of these, but did some cool things with stats and getting some quotes and notes and things included for folks and some social sharing, and we were really proud of how well they worked. We optimized them so that they were square shaped, so they were easy to get onto Instagram and then adapted from there.
Can you make it bigger?
Let's see here. We can zoom in here. There we go. There's one from New Mexico, Boise State for you. And another from New Mexico, San Diego State from our championship game with the championship photo. So it was really a collaborative effort between, we've got a team of folks taking notes at our championship and finding different records and things, and then we have quote takers with ASCP Sports that we got involved in the quote of note, and then utilizing the box score and then our relationship with NCAA Photos. They're our official championship photographers, and providing an image from the games themselves for these productions. We're really proud of how that went. Another thing that we're really proud of, which is kind of, we haven't made a whole big deal about it because we don't want to jinx anything, but in the last couple of weeks we found out that the Mountain West Network has been nominated for a Heartland Emmy Award for technical achievement. So we'll find out. Thank you. We'll find out. We'll find out if we're fortunate enough to receive that award. But as they say, I guess in the movies, it's an honor just to be nominated.
Oh,
I never thought in a million years in working in college athletics and working in digital that an Emmy would be something that I would have an opportunity to get my hands on. And we're super proud of it, particularly with the strides we've made in just a matter of a couple of years.
That's fantastic. I like hearing those kinds of stories, especially, I mean, just being realistic, considering where the Mountain West Conference is located and the size of it compared to the big boys. I think that would seem like validation,
Right.
for all of the effort and hard work that you and your team have been doing. And our 10 minutes is up, Katie.
It goes by fast.
It flies by. Thanks everyone for tuning in. But let everybody know how they can connect with you and the conference.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Twitter at Katie Cavender. I'm on, of course, Google Plus at Cavender, and on Facebook and LinkedIn as well, and of course on Instagram. And then the Mountain West, you can find us. Our website is themw.com for all your comprehensive coverage on our 12 member institutions and 18 sports there, as well as on, like I said, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube. And before we go, I know that we kind of teased it a little bit on Twitter earlier. But if the fans out there who are watching either live or archived or watching, if you tweet me at Katie Cavender and let me know your favorite Mountain West institution, I'm happy to share a copy of just hitting the newsstands today, the Mountain West edition of the Lindy's football preview for the 2014 season.
Hold it up higher.
There's 4 different covers here. We've got an Air Force, Colorado State, New Mexico cover, a Utah State, Boise State, Wyoming cover, a Nevada and UNLV cover, and a San Diego State, Fresno State, San Jose State, and Hawaii cover. So if you've got interest in getting your hands on one of those and don't want to spend the cash at the newsstand, give me a tweet, let me know your thoughts. We'll be happy to connect with you, and we'll get one your way.
Definitely, and we'll probably tweet that out as well for those of you that are catching this on the replay. But that's a coveted item to have. We are getting down to college kickoff time, and
it's crazy. It's always football season, isn't it?
No, it pretty much is. Thanks again for joining me, Katie. I do appreciate you taking the time to join me.
Happy to do it. It's a pleasure working with you on an ongoing basis, and everyone in the social community. It's a real community and family, and it's really nice to have some face-to-face connection too.
Definitely, and I'm glad I got to bring you over more to Google+.
Yay!
So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. You can find me, of course, on Twitter at CadChica and Instagram CadChica as well. Always find information about sports and social media on my website, CadChicaSports.com. Of course, LinkedIn, and yes, here on Google+. Join me next week at the same time, 5 p.m., when we will be talking sports business, sports ticketing, and marketing with Troy Kirby. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.